was about carrying one. And now, she would carry it too. The river ran deep, slow, wide. Its surface held the sky, clouds drifting like forgotten thoughts. Birds skimmed low, but made no sound. Underneath, the water moved with purpose. Not hurried, not restless. It carried memory. Every pebble it touched, every fish that swam, every leaf that drifted. A woman stood at the edge, hands cupped, eyes closed. She reached into the water. Fingers mit coolness, not wet, alive. The river pulsed, not from flow, but from remembrance. Her fingers traced slow circles in the water. Each ripple stretched outward, breaking gently against stones. The river responded, not with sound, but with sensation. Memories. She felt a child laughing by the bank, a laugh folded in the curve of the current. A fisherman casting his net, his hope tangled in the water's weave. A lover's promise, soft as moss, hidden beneath waves. The stories weren't spoken. They were felt, carried in flow, in temperature, in light. The river held more than water. It held life. She smiled and leaned closer. The water deepened, cooler, darker. She watched as shapes shifted beneath the ripples. Not fish, not stones. Faces, faint, soft, eyes closed, mouth silent. They moved slowly, like shadows in a dream. One face stepped forward, not real, not imagined. A memory, a mother, cradling a child, whispering a lullaby. The river hummed the song back. The woman listened. Tears in her eyes, not sadness. Connection. The story wasn't hers to tell. It was hers to hold, to carry forward, in silence, in love. She pulled her hand from the water. Droplets clung like promises. The river's pulse lingered, soft, steady. She opened her eyes. The sky was wide, the world waiting. She did not speak, did not need to. The stories were hers now, not to tell, to carry, to live quietly, like the river, flowing unseen, but never gone. She stepped back from the shore, each footfall lighter, not alone, but part of a current that moves without sound. And behind her, the river whispered, "Thank you for remembering." The sky was wide, blue as a forgotten dream. A single feather hung, not falling, not rising, just waiting. No wind stirred, no bird called. The air held its breath. Below, a girl watched. She did not move. She did not blink. Her eyes followed the feather's slow dance. It curved gently, swayed softly, like a secret told, but never spoken aloud. She reached out, fingers trembling, but the feather stayed. Not afraid, not tethered, just paused. And in that moment, she understood. This was not a feather trapped. It was a feather waiting. Her foot moved softly. The feather swayed, not falling, not rising, dancing. She reached out again, closer now. The air around her shifted, a gentle pulse, like a heartbeat. Leaves rustled faintly. A breeze teased her hair. The world exhaled. The feather spun, light as hope, free as memory. She smiled, not because she caught it, because she understood. Some things wait, not to be held, but to be noticed. And the air had finally found someone to hold its breath with. The feather drifted, slowly, surely. It traced curves in the sky, not random, deliberate. She stepped lightly, eyes fixed, no path beneath her feet, no footsteps to follow, only the air's soft murmur. The feather slowed, paused, above a clearing, silent, still, a place untouched by time, where breath was a prayer. She stepped in, the feather rested, not fallen, not lost, just there. And in that stillness, she felt the air's secret. Some moments are not meant to pass. They're meant to hold, to wait, to breathe, to be. She sat down, back straight, eyes soft. The feather hovered, close enough to touch, yet untouched. Her breath slowed, deepened. She felt the air around her grow quiet, not empty, but full of waiting, of presence, of being. Time stretched, not away, but within. She smiled, not because she understood everything, because she understood the importance of waiting, of holding space, of breathing stillness. And the feather? It floated, light, free, waiting with her. The room was empty. Dust settled in soft layers. Sunlight filtered through cracked glass. At its center, a mirror, not ordinary, not still. It shimmered, pulse-like, breathing light. A woman entered. No hesitation, no fear. She approached. The mirror didn't reflect her. It showed her shadow, a shape shifting, changing, growing. Not who she was, who she could be. She reached out. Fingers brushed the glass. The shimmer deepened, and the room held its breath. The glass rippled. Images appeared, not clear, not certain. She saw herself, standing in a forest, dancing in sunlight, crying beneath rain, laughing with strangers, walking alone by the sea. Each moment glowed briefly, then faded. No voice explained, no script followed, just light and feeling. She reached again, touched another shimmer. This time, a city she'd never visited, a face she might meet, a word she hadn't spoken. Possibilities, not promises. She stepped back, breathed deep. The mirror didn't demand. It invited. To choose, to dream, to become. Her breath caught, eyes widened. The mirror showed a fall, a loss, a silence. Not all light was safe, not all futures warm. She stepped back, trembled, but the glass did not shatter. It softened. The reflection shifted, from shadow to glow. She touched it again, slowly, deliberately, and felt a calm rise. Not certainty, not promise, acceptance. Tomorrow was not a script. It was a whisper, a gift held lightly. She exhaled and smiled. The mirror did not show her who she was. It showed who she could become, if she was brave enough to hold the unknown. She turned from the mirror, not with fear, not with regret, but with something softer, a spark, a flicker of hope, nestled deep in her chest. She didn't know what the future held. No one ever did. But she knew this. The mirror wasn't a window. It was a guide, not telling her where to go, but reminding her she could choose. She stepped outside. The sunlight felt warm, the air alive, and with each breath, she carried the shimmer, not as a weight, but as a promise, a quiet invitation to live fully, with open hands. The cave was cold. Walls dripped with silence. Shadows clung like mist. But deep inside, a flicker, not smoke, not heat, a pulse. Soft, steady. The flame breathed. It moved like a living thing, growing, shrinking, waiting. A man entered. No torch, no match, just a longing. He knelt, watched the flame dance, not afraid, and the fire welcomed him. The fire pulsed, not wildly, not fiercely, but with calm rhythm, like breathing. Shadows danced softly. Walls seemed to lean closer. The man watched, mesmerized. Each flicker a word, each glow a sentence. He didn't hear a voice. He felt a story, of beginnings, of endings, of moments held just long enough. The flame didn't burn away the past. It illuminated it, not to destroy, but to remember. And in that light, he found something he thought lost. Hope. The man reached out. His hand hovered, not to grab, to touch, to decide. The flame flickered gently, not pleading, not demanding, just waiting. He thought of all he held tight. Memories, regrets, dreams. Could he let them go? Could he carry the warmth without the weight? His fingers brushed the light. It didn't burn. It welcomed. He closed his eyes, breathed in, and let go. The flame brightened, not from loss, from freedom. It was not an end, but a beginning. He stood slowly. The flame flickered softly in the cave's stillness. It was no longer just light. It was a promise, a quiet warmth that would not consume, but hold. He stepped outside. The night was vast. Stars blinked awake. His breath misted in the cool air. But inside a steady heat. The flame traveled with him, not as fire, as memory, as hope. And the world waited, not for blaze, for quiet light. The night was deep. No stars, no moon, only shadow. Thick, warm. It moved slowly, not fleeing light. Holding it, a woman sat alone, eyes closed, breathing steady. The shadow stretched toward her, not to touch, to share. She opened her eyes. The darkness wasn't empty. It was full of light. She hadn't lost, just forgotten. She reached out, not to catch light, but to touch shadow. It held her hand softly, a warmth beneath the cool night. Not heat, comfort. The shadow pulsed, like a heartbeat. Slow, sure. Her breath slowed. Her worries softened. In the dark, she found a place. Not empty, but full. The shadow was not absence. It was presence. And it stayed. She sat quietly, eyes half closed, breath steady. The shadow shifted, not retreating, but blending. Light touched darkness. Darkness held light. Neither overwhelmed, neither vanished. Together, they created space, a balance, a pause. She smiled softly, not from clarity, from comfort, understanding that to hold light, she didn't need to banish shadow. They were threads, woven through her soul, both necessary, both beautiful, both hers. She rose slowly. The night wrapped softly around her, not cold, not empty, a cloak woven of shadow and light. Her steps were steady, her breath calm. She did not seek to chase the dark, nor did she cling to the light. She carried both, balanced, whole, and in that balance, she found peace. The shadow walked beside her, not behind, not ahead, together. And the night, once feared, became home. The valley lay still. Mist hugged the ground. Trees whispered softly. Then a note, clear, pure, hanging in the air. It grew. A second note joined. Then a third. Together, they sang. Not words, not lyrics. A language of sound, of feeling. The song was alive. It carried history, joy, loss, hope. A man stood at the edge, closing his eyes. He listened. The melody rose and fell, like breath, like heartbeat, not rushed, not forced. Between the notes, silence lingered, not absence, presence. The man felt the spaces, the pauses, the unspoken. Each silence held meaning. Each note carried weight. Together, they told a story older than memory, a story of beginnings and endings, of loss and love, of waiting and arriving. He opened his eyes. The song held him, not captive, held. He closed his eyes. The melody wrapped around him, not tight, not loose, just right. It had no end, no final note, no fading. The song was a circle, a spiral, a breath held long and released slow. Its power was not in finishing, but in continuing, in carrying moments, from past to present, from sorrow to hope. He smiled, not because he understood everything, because he felt the gift, to hold the song, not as a weight, but as a presence, always there, always becoming. He opened his eyes. The valley was still, mist curled low, but inside him, the song played on, not loud, not demanding, a gentle rhythm, a quiet pulse. He stepped forward, not alone. The melody moved with him, through trees, over stones, into silence, and as he walked, the song carried time, not as a chain, but as wings, and the world softened. The dawn was soft. Mist hovered low. Leaves hung motionless. A single breath held, not lost, not forgotten, suspended. A woman stood still, chest rising, chest falling. She felt the air close, not cold, warm, full of something. A story, not spoken, breathed. She reached out. The air shimmered, and the breath remembered. She closed her eyes, breath steady. The air shifted, not with sound, but with sensation. Whispers, soft and distant, like echoes in a cave. A child's laughter, a lover's sigh, a song sung beside a fire. Not voices to hear, voices to feel. They wrapped around her, invisible threads, karing moments, too fragile for words. She opened her eyes, smiled softly. The breath wasn't just air. It was memory, alive, waiting. She breathed in slowly, held it. The world hushed. Between inhale and exhale, time folded. A moment stretched, not broken, not fleeting, just held. She felt a warmth, not from sun, from something deeper. A memory, not hers alone. A shared breath, passed through generations. A touch, a promise, a heartbeat. She released her breath. The moment lingered. Alive, she slowly exhaled. The air embraced her. Not lost, not gone, carried. Her breath mingled with those before. A river of stories, flowing unseen. She smiled softly, not alone, part of a current, carrying life through every breath. And as she stood, the wind whispered gently, "We remember, because we breathe." The mountain stood tall, silent, ancient. At its base, a stone hummed softly, not visible light, not audible sound, a presence, a song beneath the surface. A man knelt, hand on stone. He felt the pulse, not rhythm, memory. The stone held voices, not lost, not silent, waiting to be heard. The man closed his eyes. The stone's hum grew, not loud, not harsh, soft, rich, like a voice just beneath hearing. He felt stories unfold, generations of footsteps, echoes of songs, whispers of promises, each vibration a word, each pulse a phrase. The stones sang of beginnings, of endings, of moments held tight. Across centuries, he breathed deeply. Let the melody fill him, not to control, to receive. The rock didn't ask. It shared, and he listened. The song deepened. Joy sparkled like sunlight. Sorrow settled like dusk. The man felt both, not separate, but woven. A laughter that lifted him, a tear that grounded him. His own breath joined the rhythm. A new note, a new voice. He whispered softly, not words, not songs, but a sound. Half remembered, half new. The stone answered. A pulse, a resonance. They sang together, not perfectly, not alone, but together. He stood slowly. The mountain air was still, but inside him, the song lingered. Not loud, not demanding. A steady hum, a quiet comfort. He breathed deep, felt the earth beneath. The stone's voice was his now, a memory, a guide, a presence. He walked away, not alone, carrying the song, wherever he went, and the mountain smiled silently. The loom stood still. Light spilled softly. Threads lay waiting, not tangled, but ready. A woman sat, hands steady, eyes calm. Each thread she pulled was more than yarn. It was a story, a touch, a smile, a moment, woven tight. The cloth grew, not just fabric, a tapestry of lives and memories, connected. Her fingers moved slowly, over weave and weft, not just fabric, lives. She felt a mother's lullaby, a child's first step, a promise made long ago. Each thread held a moment, a breath, a heartbeat. She didn't just see patterns, she felt stories, tangled, delicate, whole. The tapestry grew heavier, not in weight, but in meaning. She smiled softly, woven in every stitch. Connection, memory, love. The cloth caught the light, not still, but moving. Patterns shifted, colors deepened, threads glowed softly. The stories breathed. A laughter here, a tear there, a whispered secret, woven between. The woman's hands hovered, not touching, listening. The tapestry sang, not in sound, but in warmth. It held the past, the present, the becoming, a living story, held gently, waiting to be shared. Her fingers worked slowly. The last threads crossed, patterns settled. The tapestry was whole, not just cloth, a gift. She folded it gently, not to hide, to share. She carried it outside. The sun warmed the fabric. Colors gleamed. She gave it to those waiting, not asking, not explaining, just offering. A story passed hand to hand, life to life. And as they touched it, they remembered. Connection, belonging, love. The hallway stretched long. Års bara. Shadows deep. At the end, a door. Heavy wood. No handed. No que llore. Just silence. People passed. Whispered stories. It's locked. Not meant for us. Danger lies beyond. But one person stopped. Not with fear. Not with doubt. With quiet resolve. They reached out. Touched the door. It didn't move. But neither did they. A breath. A heartbeat. The door waited. And so did they. The silence thickened. The hallway seemed to lean in. The person placed their palm flat. Not pushing. Not demanding. Just being. A warm spread. Not from light. From intention. The door hummed softly. Not creaking. Not groaning. A gentle vibration. Like a breath. Slowly, the surface shimmered. The heavy wood softened. Edges blurred. And then, a crack. A whisper. The door was not locked. It was waiting. Waiting for someone. Willing to open. Without breaking. The door swung wide. Not with noise. Not with rush. But with grace. Inside, light. Soft. Inviting. No walls. No ceilings. Just open space. A place to breathe. The person stepped forward. Heart steady. Eyes wide. They saw paths. Not marked. Not fixed. Just waiting. Inviting. A new journey. Not forced. Not planned. Just beginning. And the door closed gently behind them. Not a trap. To welcome. A choice made real. Their feet touched the ground. Soft earth. Unmarked. Breath steady. Heart open. Each step was not hurried. Not cautious. Intentional. They moved with quiet strength. Not knowing where, but trusting how. The space around them shifted. Not changing. Welcoming. Paths unfurled like ribbons. Each choice a thread. Woven with courage. And as they walked, the door behind them stood silent. Not closed. Waiting for the next. The night stretched long. Stars dimmed. Silence deepened. The horizon held still. No colors. No words. Just waiting. A light not yet born. A world caught between night and day. A woman stood watching. Eyes wide. Heart steady. She felt the pause. Not empty. Full. The dawn was not lost. It was waiting. The sky shifted. Not with a rush, but a sigh. A soft glow bloomed. Pink. Faint. Delicate. The woman breathed in. The world exhaled. Birds stirred softly. Leaves quivered. Light stretched fingers. Across the dark. Not to chase it away, but to hold it gently. The dawn was not breaking. It was waking. She stepped forward. The earth cooled beneath her feet. The glow deepened. From pink to gold. From whisper to song. Shadows softened. Colors stretched. The world held its breath. Not eager. Not afraid. Ready. The sky opened like a bloom. Petals of light unfolding. She smiled softly. Not because the dawn had come. Because it had waited. The sky flared softly. Light spilled gently. Bells sung. Not loudly, but with calm joy. She breathed deep. Felt warmth spread. Not just from a sun. From within. The world was new. Not because it had changed, but because she had. The dawn wasn't just light. It was promise. And she stepped forward, carrying hope, into the day. The river wound slow. Not racing. Not chasing. It moved against the tide. Backward. Pebbles shifted upstream. Leaves floated back to branches. Fish swam against the flow. A man stood on the bank, watching, not surprised, not afraid. He reached out. Fingers touched the cool water. The river pulsed, not with current, with memory. The water shimmered softly, not with waves, but with echoes. A child's laughter returning. A farewell embraced again. A first step retraced. The river's flow rewound time, not erasing, revealing. Each ripple held a memory, each current a story. The man closed his eyes, felt the past flow through him. Not lost, returned. He smiled softly, not with surprise, with acceptance. He waited slowly, water cool around his ankles. The current pulled softly, not rushing, but guiding. He closed his eyes, let the river carry him. Memories surfaced, not faded, not distant. A mother's smile, a friend's goodbye, a promise made again. The river didn't take him back. It brought him forward, forward through the past. He breathed deeply, felt time fold, not lost, found. He lifted his feet from the water. Droplets clung like whispers. The river's pulse lingered, soft, steady. He opened his eyes. The world was the same, yet different. Not because time reversed, because he remembered. The past was not gone. It was carried forward. A river flowing backward. A life moving forward. He smiled softly, ready to live, with memory as his guide. The soil lay still, dark, soft. A seed nestled deep. Not forgotten, not lost, just waiting. No rush, no hurry. A silent promise. Beneath the earth, life held breath. A quiet beginning, a slow pulse. The seed was patient, strong, waiting for the world to be ready. The soil softened, a gentle pulse. Warmth seeped in, not sudden, not harsh. A slow awakening. The seed stirred, tiny roots unfurled. A fragile shoot pushed upward. No haste, no noise, just steady growth. The earth cradled it, protected it. Life reached quietly, trusting the patient rhythm of time and space. The seed held its promise. The shoot curved upward, soft green against earth's brown. Light touched its tip, warm and gentle. Leaves unfurled slowly, not rushed, not forced. The world breathed in. Colors deepened. Air filled with promise. Around it, life stirred. A bee hummed nearby. A bird sang softly. The seed's quiet journey became part of the world's song. A bloom beginning. Petals stretched wide. Soft hues glowing in the light. No rush. No fanfare. Just steady unfolding. The flowers stood tall. A quiet triumph. Not just of survival. Of waiting. Of trusting time. Trusting self. Around it the garden smiled. Life whispered. The seed's promise fulfilled. Not quickly. Not easily. But fully. The room was still. Dust floated lazily. Sunlight paused halfway. The window held its place. Neither open nor closed. A frame caught in breath. No movement. No sound. Just waiting. A girl entered. Eyes wide. Heart quiet. She looked through. Not outside. Inside. A moment frozen. A story paused. She reached out. The window shimmered. And time held still. She moved slowly. Breath soft. Steps gentle. The window's shimmer deepened. Not breaking. Not fading. A scene appeared. A garden in mid-bloom. A breeze paused mid-air. Leaves hanging still. People frozen in laughter. A child reaching for a butterfly. A smile caught before it faded. Time had stopped. Not as punishment, but as gift. A moment held, waiting for someone to understand. She reached out, touched the glass. The scene rippled, not breaking, inviting. To step inside. Her fingers crossed the glass. A soft ripple. A breath held. She stepped forward. Feet light. Heart steady. The world inside was quiet. Frozen. Perfect. Flowers hung mid-fall. Leaves drifted suspended. Laughter held in smiles. No pity. No end. Just presence. She breathed deep. Not to escape time, but to live within it. To hold stillness. To find peace. In the pause, she settled down. Eyes soft. Breath calm. Time didn't rush. It lingered. She felt the pulse. A pause seconds. The rhythm of quiet. Not empty. Full. A space where worries softened. Where memories breathed. Where presence was all. She smiled. Not because she escaped time. Because she embraced it. The window shimmered behind her. Waiting. Patient. The path lay silent. Grass creeping. Leaves scattered. No footprints. No pity. Just waiting. A boy appeared. Barefoot. Eyes curious. He stood at the edge. Not rushing. Not hesitant. Just still. Then a step. The path noticed. And began to wake. His foot pressed down. Hrush bent softly. Leaves shifted aside. The path stretched forward. Not straight. Not forced. Curving. Welcoming. He looked ahead. Saw nothing clear. No markers. But felt the way. Not with eyes. With heart. Step by step. The trail became real. Not made. Remembered. And the boy smiled. Knowing the journey had begun. People paused. Gazed where the boy walked. No words spoken. No calls made. Just quiet watching. A woman stepped closer. Barefoot. Curious. She reached the path's edge. Felt the softness beneath. A silent invitation. One by one, others came. Not to follow, but to join. Each bringing their own pace. Their own story. Together, they walked. Not behind. Not ahead. But with. And the path grew. Woven from hearts. Not footsteps. He paused. Turned slowly. The path stretched behind him. Not empty. Not silent. Filled with life. Soft whispers of footsteps. Colors where grass had bent. Smiles carried in the air. The journey no longer one, but many. Woven together. The boy smiled. Not because he had led, but because he had trusted. The path was never just a way. It was a becoming. The room breathed softly. No sound, no movement, just silence. Not empty, full. A presence felt. A woman sat, eyes closed, breathing deep. She listened, not for noise, for meaning. The silence spoke, not with words, with feeling. Her breath slowed, heart steady. The silence shifted, not breaking, opening. A subtle hum, a gentle rhythm, not loud, not demanding, clear. She felt it, not with ears, but deep within. A message carried, not spoken, felt. The silence was alive, waiting to be heard. She settled deeper, eyes closed tight. The hum grew warm, not noise, not sound, a presence, a voice, without words. It carried truth, not told, known, a song of stillness, of peace, of being. She smiled softly, not understanding, feeling. The silence held her, not captive, safe. And in that safety, she found voice. She opened her eyes. The room remained still, but inside her, the silence spoke, not loudly, softly, clearly, a voice without sound, a guide without words. She rose slowly, stepped forward, each footfall gentle, each breath steady. She carried the silence, not as absence, as presence, and with it, she moved through the world. The night was cool, stars twinkled faintly, a fire burned gently, not fierce, not harsh. Its light wrapped softly. Around the clearing, a woman approached, steps slow, eyes hopeful. She felt the flames call, not a demand, an invitation. She stepped closer, not afraid. The fire welcomed her. She settled close. The fire flickered softly, not fierce, not consuming. A quiet glow, a steady breath. She felt it, not on her skin, but in her chest. A warmth that calmed, that held, that welcomed. The flame didn't ask. It offered, not just light, not just heat, belonging. She smiled softly, feeling at home. She closed her eyes, breath slowed. The fire danced gently, not show, a quiet companion. No need for words, no need for stories, just presence. She reached out, not to touch, to be, together, silent, connected. The flame pulsed softly, a heartbeat, a welcome. She smiled again, not from conversation, from understanding. She opened her eyes. The fire flickered softly. The night was still, but inside her, a light glowed, not burning, not harsh, a quiet flame, steady. She breathed deep, stepped forward, carrying the fire's welcome, not just warmth, but belonging. And as she walked, the world seemed softer. The flame traveled with her, a gentle guide, a quiet home. The garden lay still, leaves curled softly, buds tucked close. No ruse, no pity, just waiting, a silent promise, a world held in pause. Sunlight warmed gently, not blazing, not fading. Life waited, patient. The earth softened. A breeze whispered. Buds twitched slightly. Leaves unfurled slowly. Not rushed, not forced, just steady. Life stretched gently, reaching toward light. The garden breathed, not loudly, softly, a slow dance of becoming. The world listened, waiting with it. Petals stretched wide, soft hues glowing, light filtering through leaves. The garden woke fully, not rushed, not loud, just presence, calm beauty. Bees hummed softly, butterflies danced, the air filled with promise. The garden's breath deepened, life embraced, a quiet celebration of patience rewarded.